Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. The text came in while I was brushing my teeth. Dinner ran late. Don't wait up. It wasn't the words that made my stomach drop. It was the timestamp, 11:47 p.m., and the read receipt that showed she'd seen my earlier message and chosen not to answer it. I stared at my reflection, foam dripping down my chin, and felt something quiet break. Not snap. Break. Like a hairline fracture you don't notice until you put weight on it. I told myself not to be that guy. The suspicious husband. The insecure one. She'd gotten a promotion. Her boss Mark was demanding. High-profile clients, late dinners, team bonding. I'd even joked about it. Must be nice having a boss who takes you out to fancy places. She smiled too quickly when I said that. Over the next few weeks, little things started stacking up. Missed calls she returned hours later. Her phone face down on the counter always. A new perfume, subtle, expensive. She said a coworker gifted her. She laughed when I asked why she suddenly dressed sharper for work. I'm allowed to feel good about myself, she said, and I apologize for asking. The night it shifted from doubt to dread was the company gala. I wasn't supposed to attend, but Mark insisted. Bring the husband, he'd said with a grin that didn't reach his eyes. The venue was all glass and soft lighting. I remember the hum of conversation, the clink of champagne flutes, and the way Mark watched my wife like she was a prize. He shook my hand too long. You're lucky, he said, loud enough for others to hear. She's invaluable. My wife's smile froze for half a second. I felt it in my chest. Later, while she stepped away to take a call, Mark leaned in. You must trust her a lot, he said casually. Late nights. Travel. Some men can't handle that. I smiled back. Trust isn't about handling, I said. It's about knowing. He raised an eyebrow, amused. I don't think he realized I noticed my wife across the room. Her body angled away from me, her eyes searching for him. That night she came home distant. When I reached for her she stiffened. I'm exhausted, she whispered. Please. I lay awake listening to her breathe, replaying every moment I'd ignored. The missed anniversaries. The way she flinched when my phone buzzed as if it were hers. I didn't want to believe it. Love doesn't vanish overnight, it erodes. The proof came accidentally. I was updating our shared cloud account, something mundane, when a notification popped up. A synced folder I didn't recognize. Inside were photos, screenshots, messages. You looked incredible tonight. Careful. He was watching. That makes it more exciting. My hand shook so hard I had to sit down. There were dates, times, hotel receipts buried in plain sight. And one message that gutted me. I tested him tonight. He didn't even notice. I closed the laptop and felt the house swallow me whole. When I confronted her, I didn't yell. I couldn't. I asked her to sit with me at the kitchen table, the same place we planned our future. She cried before I finished the first sentence. Not loud sobs, quiet broken ones. She said it started with validation, with feeling seen. That Mark made her feel powerful, desired. She said she never meant for it to go so far. She said my distance pushed her. She said a lot of things that sounded like reasons until they sounded like excuses. I told her about the gala, about the test. Her face went pale. He said that. Yes, I said. And the worst part? He thought I was powerless. I'd spent years building a life, a career, boundaries she never noticed. Mark didn't know I sat on the board that approved his division's contracts. He didn't know I controlled the funding that made his department shine. But this wasn't about revenge. I didn't expose him. I didn't threaten her. I asked for honesty, and when it finally came, it hurt more than the lies. We separated quietly. The house feels different now, lighter, emptier. Memories still ambush me. Her laugh in the hallway, the way she used to rest her head on my shoulder. But they don't own me anymore. The last time I saw Mark months later, he looked smaller. Avoided my eyes. I nodded once and kept walking. Control isn't about power over others. It's about knowing when to walk away with your dignity intact. I didn't win anything, but I got myself back.